Hi guys, good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Let's wait for one more minute and then we can start. Okay, meanwhile, any question? Fine, I think we should start now. Someone has asked a question yesterday. Sunil has joined. Sunil has not joined. Then Vedanath asked a question. Okay, fine, Vedanath, yeah. Yeah, fine. Vedanath, can you repeat your question? The one which you have posted in the chat box.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Just a minute.
Yeah, sure. Will there be a scenario to load
To load single source data in 4 different targets based on the session run?
Okay, so what I understood is you are trying to load single source data in 4 different target tables.
Yeah, with a single job.
With the single job. Of course, you can do it. No issues. You see, that depends on your coding expertise. Okay. If you want, you can write code in one job to load data in all the layers as well. That's also possible. But that depends on the coding expertise and the complexities. Okay. So if the question is, can I do this? Is it possible? Then yes, of course, that is possible. That's very simple. But generally, it is suggested to keep separate jobs at different layers. That's why we have different jobs for stage, integration, and access layer. Even in stage, if you have 10 tables, okay, and suppose if you have 5 different source files or 10 different source files, generally it happens that if you have 10 different source files, then you're going to load data different stage table. So like here, I have shown you that we have only one. Here I've shown you that we have only one stage table, no? But that doesn't happen actually. You'll be having 2, 3, 4, 5 like that number of stage tables. So there is no restriction on that. Okay. So if you're getting 10, so in our case, I think we are getting source files from eight sources. So in that case, what will happen? You'll be having 8 different tables at a stage where you're going to load the data from 8 different source files. But yeah, that also happened that all the data from 8 different source files we are going to load in a single stage table. That is also possible. I am telling both the scenarios. Okay. So both the scenarios are possible. And I have worked in a project in which both has happened. We used to get data from 20 sources and we used to load it in only 2 staging tables. And once we used to get data from I think 9 to 10 sources, and we are going to load data in 9 to 10 different staging tables. Okay, so that is also possible, that happens. So if you are thinking that if I have one source file, so that data will be loaded in one table only, that's also correct. But if you have five source files, and if you're thinking that all the data of five source files will be loaded in one stage table only, so no, that is totally on the project requirement. If you want to load data of five source files in one stage table, you can do that. If you want to load data of five source files in five different stage tables, that is also possible. That also you can do. I answered your question.
Yes, yes.
So any scenario where you have faced this, Vaidyanathan, I think maybe in your project, or you're just asking for your curiosity, this came to
No,
your mind.
no, I was just thinking over like we are speaking about just one source file. So I thought like maybe is it possible like to have multiple source file into single or single source file into multiple target files. So
Correct. That is possible. That is possible.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
many times it happens like that, that you have written one source file and you are loading in different stage chip. That is also possible. That also happens.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, no problem. Welcome. So I think the next question was asked by Sunil. Sunil is there in the call? Yeah.
Yeah, Tanir.
Oh,
Hi.
yeah. So Sunil has asked a question that how could we generate the sequence of key values without using sequence and method transformation? That will be fine. So, very good question. Sunil has asked. Actually, you guys might remember that yesterday I was talking about surrogate key, and I hope the concept of surrogate key was clear. So, surrogate key is like a unique key, a primary key we are creating in a table. Okay, and the reason is in a city 2 we have seen that, like here you can see my screen is visible, no?
Yeah.
Okay, in a city 2 you have seen that due to while maintaining the history we are disturbing the primary key. So in this employee stage table you can see that we have maintained the history of employee name A, right? You can see here, but because of this, can you tell that this is a primary key now? Employee ID is a primary key here.
No, because of duplicates are there.
Correct. We cannot tell that this is a primary key
Yeah.
anymore. Why? Because the same employee ID is coming twice. That's why this employee ID is not a primary key. Okay. So that's why we have to do something to create a primary key in this table. Okay. So for that case, we used to generate a surrogate key. Okay. And there is no naming convention. Just for the simplicity, I have written employee ID underscore SK. Okay. It totally depends on your project. So whatever name you want, you can keep it. I don't want to discuss anything on that. This is user defined name. So what this will do, this is like a generator, sequence generator. Okay. It will not look into all these records. So it will see if there is one record, it will generate one, second record, two, third record, three, fourth record, four. Like that, it will continue on generating. It's like a serial number. No? We used to give serial number. If you're writing something, no? Point wise point, we used to write serial number. So this is like a serial number you are giving. So this is known as surrogate key. And the only purpose is to create a primary key in this table. So now if in this table, if I will ask you that what's a primary key, then you will tell that this surrogate key is the primary key. And this is very useful when you are going to join this with fact tables or any other table in access layer, integration layer. The significance of this we will see down the line. But as of now, just try to understand that the purpose of this surrogate key is to maintain primary key in this table. Any question, guys, please ask me. This all are very, very, very critical and important concepts from ETL perspective. Okay, is this clear? Okay, if this is clear, then Sunil has asked very good question that actually, if you're working in any tool, like take the example of Informatica. Okay, Informatica is a very enriched tool in ETL world. All that is costly as well. The license is too costly. So in Informatica, most of the transformation, data loading part, and many other things, they have ready-made utility. That's the best part in Informatica. Even if you are not that much, if you don't have that much expertise in SQL, so they have given many functionalities, and using that drag and drop, lineage, and all those things, you can do a lot of things. Okay, so sequence generator is one of the feature in Informatica that through that you can generate the sequence. So just you have to create this column and you have to map this to the sequence generator. That's all. So automatically it will create this serial number. Okay, so that is known as sequence generator. So that is present in many of the tools. It provides this feature. This is a very common feature. Okay, but what I understood is Sunil has asked that, okay, then this can be done using the sequence generator in tools, whatever we have. Do we have any other technique apart from that ready-made tool technique? Have I understood your question correctly, Sunil? Is that the question what you have asked? Hello?
Correct.
Correct, okay. So, of course, you have a technique, okay, and that you can do through using SQL query, and I want to show it to you. Just a minute. I will deviate a little bit from the topic, but this is a good question. And I used to cover this in my SQL agenda. Okay, but Sunil has asked, so I thought of covering this. I think I'll be having some format as well. Let me check. Yeah, it is connected. And take this example, sequence generator. Fine. I will show you a simple example. So this is my sheet, which I used to give session on SQL on different topics. Okay, so this a small piece of code I have used to generate or to create a sequence. Okay, and this is very simple. Okay, let me execute this first of all, then I will tell you what this is doing. The name of this sequence is sequence one. Okay, and I'm telling you start this with one. Okay, increment by one, which means one after that, two after that, three. If you want to increment by two, you can write increment by two, then the sequence will be 1, 3, 5, 7, like that. Minimum value 0, maximum value 100, and then cycle. I will tell you the significance of all these things. Okay. Then this I have created, this I have created. Let me do this one, not this, do this one. Okay. And then after creating sequence, let me create an employee table, EMP. Okay. And just for the sake of simplicity, I've taken only two columns, ID and name. Fine. This one. Name is already used in existing object. Fine. So used. Okay, so I have created this table employee. ID and name are the two columns. Fine. Then you see, I'm trying to insert a record into this employee table. Insert into employee, and the values I have given. You see, I have written here sequence 1. Just concentrate on this query. Okay, let me run this, then I will tell you what this is doing. One row inserted. Let me check if the row has been inserted or not. See 1A. So you might be thinking that I have not mentioned anything ID as 1. I've just given sequence underscore 1 dot next val. Okay, so how it has taken 1 is it has referred this to sequence 1, and this is the sequence 1. Next val means next value. So I'm mentioning here that start by 1 and increment by 1. So it will start by 1. So that's why this is 1. Okay. Now if I will try to insert the next record, so what should be the value here?
2.
2. Yeah. One row inserted. Let's verify this. You can see it is 2B. So I'm not inserting the IDs. So automatically it is taking 1, 2, and like that. Now if I will give it 3C, so the next value will be 3. So automatically it will continue on taking the values. Okay, so Sunil, is this clear?
Oh, yeah, but for your,
Voice is coming very low. Yeah, Sunil.
it will be taking accordingly sequential, right?
It will
What?
be taking it in sequential 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But
While creating the table, after you are inserting, you need to mention that sequence, right?
correct. You just have to mention the sequence, and you have all the freedom to modify the sequence. Maybe if you want that, I want to start the sequence from 2, then you can write start with 2 here. Okay. And if you want that after 2, it should take 4 to make increment by 2. Okay. So you can play with this, you can modify or whatever you want, you can do. So you have the freedom to play here. Maximum value 100 means after reaching 100, okay, again it will reset, and then again it will start from 1, 2, 3, 4 like that only. If you think that the maximum value should be 1000, you should mention 1000 here.
Yeah.
That's why cycle I mentioned that after reaching 1000, please repeat the sequence again. It will
So
repeat it.
thousands values, it will be again repeated from one value.
Correct. Once it will reach the 1000, no, it will again repeat it from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 like that. Okay,
Yeah.
is this clear?
Yeah, yeah. Thank you.
No problem.
Can it be alphanumeric, or it should be only numeric? The sequence
This one.
the sequence start with. Can we make it as E001 or something like that?
Yeah, you can do that as well. Okay, but the problem is that is not supported on many platform. Okay, because this Oracle Lifecycle, the version on which I am working, this works on ANSI, older standard of ANSI version. So I have noticed many other things doesn't works here, but you can try and it will work if you want it alphanumeric as well, it will work there. You can try that, and I think that's a good question, because in many companies you will see your employee ID will be like start with A, B, C, D, and that will mix of alphabets and numeric, or maybe like our PAN card number, that's alphanumeric. So you can do that as well. Okay.
Yeah.
Fine. Any other question, guys? No. Okay. Perfect. Very good. Now let's move to our ETL. So I think these are the things we have discussed, how you will validate duplicate records. I think we have discussed this today. Duplicate records. I think this is also covered. The duplicate records, this is covered. Write a query to validate deduplication logic. Okay. That is SQL query to validate deduplication logic. So how you will validate the deduplication logic? Very simple, not complicated. So if you have to validate the deduplication logic, just a minute, why this is coming here? Okay. if you have to validate the deduplication logic, so what you have to look into, let me show you an example. I think I was giving you an example of deduplication yesterday. Yeah. So here we have seen the concept of deduplication, that this is the HR database, this is the recruitment database. HR database, we have the details, and in recruitment database, we have these details. Okay. The difference was the employee ID 1 was having salary 100 in HR database, and in recruitment database, the employee ID 1 is having salary 110. But maybe they both are correct uh, at their means places, they both are correct. Maybe they both are giving the correct information. Okay, maybe the HR database is just giving the base salary. Okay, but recruitment database is giving base plus bonus. So in that way, they both are correct. Okay, but it has been agreed that if you're getting the data of same employee from HR and recruitment database, then you have to give priority. I think you remember we have discussed this yesterday. We have to give priority. So, and suppose it has been agreed that you're going to give priority to recruitment first and then HR. So in this case, this data will be loaded in our employee stage table, correct? So you see, we have loaded the data of recruitment here, correct? Is this clear, guys?
Yes.
Yeah,
Clear?
clear.
Now the question is how you are going to validate this, right? How you will test this scenario that this is happening in this way or not. Okay. First of all, a very important concept, and what I have observed mostly with the new joiners or those who have experience of 4 to 5 years, something like that, less than that, they will do all the testing on the data what is present in the table or database. But that's not a good practice, friends. You should never trust only on the data what is present in table. Please try to generate test data. And this is an important interview question as well. They will ask you that, do you prepare test data? Okay, so you should prepare test data as per the scenario. Okay, suppose your project is on deduplication, and maybe if there is no scenario of deduplication, suppose this is also 100. Assume. Now tell me, do you have any scenario of deduplication here? Yes or no? No.
No,
No, because HR and recruitment database, they both are giving the same
same.
information. Now, so you don't have the data of deduplication, so it doesn't mean that you will not verify or validate or test deduplicate. So in that case, you should create a scenario of deduplication and then you should test it. Correct? No? You should not tell to your business that I was not having any scenario of deduplication. That's why that is passed. No, you should generate, you should create scenario. You should stimulate that kind of environment there. Okay. So that's what you should know, how to generate the test data. Okay. Like we have generated an example here. Now, suppose we have created this scenario for employee A in HR and recruitment database. Now we have to validate that it is coming here or not. So how you will validate this scenario? That's the question. Okay. So for that case, what you have to do is you have to write a query, first of all, to get data from HR and get data from recruitment. Correct? No? You will see that data is present here or not. And then you have to write a query and to get the data from this employee stage. So what I'm telling is your target query will be like this. Select a star from employee stage where ID is equal to 1. Okay, ID is equal to 1. So if you will execute this query, you will get this data. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Okay. Now you have to execute a source query as well. In source query, write a query, select star from, suppose, HR database. This is the one query you have to write. Data, what you will get is where employee ID is equal to 1. Okay. So when you will execute this query, so you will get this as an output. And then you have to write one more query. Star from. See, there are multiple ways to verify this. You can use case statement, you can use minus, or whatever you want. There are many ways you can do this. Recruitment database where employee ID is equal to 1. Okay. So you will get this data. Correct. Now, in source, you have this record, and in target, you have this record. And if you have to test, so what you have to verify is this data in target must be flowing from recruitment database. Correct? Must be flowing from recruitment database. So what you can do here is you can write a minus query first of all. Means this minus this. This minus. Hope you all know the minus query. This one. So what is the expectation?
0. No
Zero
records.
records. If zero record
Yeah.
is coming, it means that data in this employee stage is coming from this one, right? Correct. And similarly, you should write one more query. This is the very simplest way, minus this one. Now, what is the expectation?
First record 1A Goa Tech 110.
Must receive some
Receive.
record. Correct, no? It means
Yeah.
some record is coming. It means this value is not coming from HR database. A simple one. So like this, you can verify. Okay. If you want to create a generic query, because here we have hard coded ID is equal to 1, you can create a generic query as well. Maybe you can take this as an assignment and create a generic query. Okay. And share with me. You can use case statement. You can use minus. You can use union all. Many other ways are there. Okay. Is this clear, guys? So that's why you should be strong enough in SQL and you should know how to validate this scenario. Okay. Any question? Okay. What's the next one? Which command is used to get the table structure? Yeah. Which command?
Descript.
Describe. DESC. That will give you the table structure and you can validate the column names, data type, data size, and all those things. Mandatory and optional, and all those things. Recon. Okay. In testing, reconciliation, and in short it is known as a recon, is a very important testing which is performed in most of the project. Okay, it's generally in data migration projects we'll be performing recon. So before that, what is reconciliation? Anyone who knows this, what is reconciliation? Come on, anyone? Okay.
Like
Now,
comparing.
comparing. Perfect. Very good. Comparing. Can you give me an example from your daily life? Forget about project. Let's give an example from daily life where you are doing recon on your daily life task. Come on, guys. See, I went to a mall. Okay, I've done some shopping. A lot of items I have purchased, maybe grocery item, then clothes, sports items, and all those things. Okay, they will give a bill. Like generally those bill of Big Bazaar or any other malls, very big bill they will give if you have purchased a lot of items. So then I will come to my home, right? And then I will do the reconciliation. It means I will match it, the items which I have purchased and the what price they have quoted, right? The discount what they have given, how much tax they have taken. And then I will calculate that, okay, fine. The amount what they have charged is perfectly matching with what is mentioned and what's the discount they have given, all those things. That is known as reconciliation. Correct? So that is reconciliation. That is what you are matching it. Correct? No? So that is known as reconciliation. So in technical terms on an ETL, reconciliation is exactly the same thing. And this has happened mostly in data migration project. Why? Because in data migration project, you are migrating, you are just taking data from one database and you're moving that in some other database. So in that case, you have to do reconciliation. You have to check that data which was present in the one database, the exactly same data is present in another database or not. Okay. Suppose if you are shifting from Delhi to Bangalore, okay, and you have packed all your household items in cartons, okay, and then you have counted that, okay, I have 26 cartons. So once you will reach Bangalore, again you will count, the 26 cartons are there or not. If there is exact match, you will do okay. This is reconciled now. It is exactly matching. That's when data migration project. This is mostly about reconciliation. There's very less transformation. No logic will be the data migration project. But generally, what you are doing, you will just check that the data what was present in the earlier database, exactly they have moved in the new database or not. Okay. So in data migration projects, this is the task you are going to perform. That's what's known as reconciliation. Okay. Closing balances recon between data and return fraud. Yeah. This is very important. Generally what happens now, so and where this reconciliation terms came into picture is suppose you are going to work in a ETL project or in your portfolio, an new ETL project is coming into picture. Okay, you're going to start a new ETL project. Fine. So end product of any ETL project is generally reports. Okay, mostly it is reports. You are creating reports, maybe on OBI or any other platform, and the business stakeholders will will see those reports and they will make an understanding that how the business is performing, right? So in your portfolio, you guys are starting a new ETL project. Okay, everything went well. You have created a report. Okay, and you have given that report to the business stakeholder and you told them that, okay, this is the report. From this report, you can get the information about profit, loss, revenues, or whatever it may be. And you can understand that how your business is performing, right? This is the cycle, guys. It happens like this now. Okay. Now, my question to you, okay, and please think and tell me. So you have created that report. That's a project started newly. Okay, you created that report and you have given that report to the business stakeholder. Okay. Before this, business stakeholders, they used to generate report on Excel sheet. A lot of the, if you see, business analysts, and they will do a lot of things on an Excel. Excel is like a bread and butter for them. And Excel is a great tool. You can do a lot of calculations and all those things in Excel. So they used to perform all those things in Excel for the last 5 years. Okay. So you went and you have given that report to the business analyst that, okay, this is the new report we have generated. Now you can refer this report and you can understand that how the business is performing because we are giving all the information, profit, loss, assets, taxes, liabilities, or whatever it may be. Now the question is, do you think that business analyst or business stakeholder will trust your report? that okay, the numbers coming on this report is correct? Yes or no? He will trust.
No, they,
Correct. So
yeah,
there's a question of trust, right? Because he will think that okay, they have created this report. This is a new project. They have created this report. So maybe he will be confused. Directly, he will not tell you that I don't trust this report. Okay. Directly, he will not tell you that. And my laptop battery is running low, and I don't have power as well at my house. Let me check what's the battery now. 10% only. Oh, if power is not coming, I think this will be disconnected. Okay. So let me check if fine. So the business analyst will will be having a question in his mind, right? That should I trust or not? So what he will do is he will do a reconciliation. Okay. So he will tell you that okay, this report we have created of December 2021. Okay, or maybe. So he will tell you that okay, go and create a report for June 2021 first of all, because you have all the data, history data and current data. So business analyst will tell you that okay, go and create a report for June 2021. Okay. So now you have created a report of June 2021. After that, the business analyst will, what he will do? He will bring his own report of June 2021 because he's having a report. He has already created a report of June 2021, right? And then he will try to match it with the report what you guys or we have generated from that Etl project, right? And there is an exact match in the number. So the business analyst will be having some confidence that okay, the numbers what they are creating is syncing with the numbers what we have generated, right? Similarly, maybe he can ask you to do some more for 3 to 4 more months, and that wise he will be having some confidence. Correct? No, you understood this? So this is what I have mentioned: closing balances, recon between data in sit and production. Production means what? So what report already the business stakeholders they have, okay, and what report which you the report which you have generated in sit environment, in testing environment. So balances, so I'm just taking an example of closing balances. So it may be like assets, revenues, taxes, or whatever it may be. So he will do a comparison, and there is an exact match. So he will be having a confidence now that okay, the report what they are generating or creating from this ETL project, we should trust. We can trust now. So that's what, if you're going to start any new ETL projects, first of all, they will do a reconciliation of the report, what you are going to generate and what already they have generated through whatever method they used to generate, maybe Excel or any other method. That's again known as reconciliation. Is this clear, guys?
yeah, clear.
Clear. Okay, and the next is recon are generally done by business team in UAT. Yeah. So generally this reconciliation will be done in UAT. UAT means user acceptance testing, and your business stakeholders will be doing testing in this environment. Okay, in UAT. So they sometime no sometime they will give you the report. So they will give you the report and they will tell you that okay, do this reconciliation and tell me if the numbers are matching or not. So you will do this that reconciliation in sit environment. Okay. But after you have done, so maybe the business will think that okay, let me do that again.